Hello everyone, and welcome to my review as above, so below. Now this is basically a found footage horror movie, and at this point, I'm pretty sure I just lost you. You're like, nope, I'm not watching this. Just click on something else. No, just hold on for a second. And I'm just going to explain to you very briefly what the story is. And it's about this archaeologist type of girl who goes into the Middle East, and she finds like this type of prophecy type of thing, and she goes into Paris, and she brings like a bunch of people with her to find this. It's basically above all other things, it's the Philosopher's Stone, and I'm just like, Harry Potter did that already? You can spin on here, but at that point I'm just like, whatever, I'm just in for the ride. And basically, she's basically in the underground catacombs of Paris to find, like I said before, the Philosopher's Stone, and she brings a bunch of people with her. Like, she is a director, she has this other person, she has this kind of like, trying, like, I won't say romance, but it's like this type of bond with him. And they're basically bringing a bunch of people underground to find the Philosopher's Stone, and a bunch of these other people are basically in on it just for the gold that they can find. There's told that there was gold with the Philosopher's Stone. And basically, they're like, alright, we're fine. Alright, we'll go with you, but we want some treasure with it. She's like, whatever, go ahead and have him a treasure. I'm not in for the treasure, I'm just in for the gold. I'm in just for the Philosopher's Stone. And at that point, I'm just like, okay. And I think, for me, the beginning intro of this film, I felt like this film was kind of channeling itself, where it was just like, we know what we're getting ourselves into. We know what we are. We're not trying to take ourselves this seriously, but this is a bit of a serious matter. So at that point, I'm just like, okay, brain, throw it aside, and I'll just watch this film. And truth be told, I like this movie. Strangely enough, I found this movie fondly amusing, mainly because, in my opinion, I found the story and the idea behind this relatively interesting. I found myself like first 5-10 minutes of this film, I'm just like, I was like half-assed. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of in for it, but I know this is stupid, I know this is bad, whatever. I'm just going right on it, and going at that point in, I'm just like, or the thing with this film is that you gotta have the right expectations. Like, if you don't like these found footage type of movies, then I really wouldn't recommend this movie. But for the people who are kind of like precautious to get into this type of movie, like me, basically, then I would kind of recommend it. And I don't know what it is, but it's the setup and the idea for the story, in my opinion, that really did get me interested. I'm just like, oh, okay, that sounds mildly interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and see this. And I'm just like, okay. And I actually found the characters okay, and it's kind of interesting. Like, this main girl, she's really fun. And she's super smart, she's a lot of PhD, she speaks a lot of different languages, she's really smart. Like, her father went before her father was trying to find this stone before her, but it drove him quite literally to suicide. Like they pretty much said that in the film. And I don't know what it is, but it's a setup, in my opinion, of this. It's both the setup and the premise of the story that I found quite interesting, and I found myself quite engaged with. And I'm just like, okay, I kind of surrendered in towards the madness of the film. I'm just like, okay, I get it. And I liked the first, aside from the first 10 minutes, it takes place in like the Middle East, and then it kind of cuts into Paris, modern day, and they're like, okay, let's go in, show all the main characters we need to know, and then the side characters, and then we're going into the catacombs. And I found that relatively interesting. I liked the setup of it. I thought the setup was relatively interesting. And then once they went, and then as soon as they entered the catacombs of Paris, I'm just like, it didn't lose any sense of story or anything like that. I thought it was consistently entertaining, and it had a good amount of thrill and suspense towards it. And as soon as I also really loved how the catacombs looked. It looked like ancient ruins that were meant to be pushed away. It's like, no, we don't want the public to know this about the stuff, even though there's historical records that prove this stuff did happen. Like, a bunch of people died because of the bubonic plague in the 1600s in Paris. And then, by the way, if I'm wrong about that, please comment down below freely. If I got that wrong, I do apologize. So, like, okay, we're aware that we're going underground. Like, 7 or 8 million people died because of this, like, flu thing that happened, and we're going underground to basically go through this stuff and to find it. I'm just like, okay, fine. And the way they shot it with, like, the character POV helmets or on the shoulder pads, I forgot where. But I found that type of look for it relatively interesting, and there'd be like cuts of these, and there'd be like 3 or 4 main cuts throughout the story, like on these 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, and then there's like this main GoPro type of camera that would have, and that would be like the main center of focus that you would see from most of the film on, and I found that kind of interesting, so that you can see these certain type of characters, like, you know, sharing and expressing their own opinions. Like, no, we need to leave. No, we should go this way. No, this way. No, this way. I like that. It created a bit of a friction. It showed, no, everyone was, yay, GoPro, let's go for this type of adventure. It's like, no, it's like everyone has a different opinion on it. I thought that was relatively interesting. Yeah, it's pro forma, but I enjoy friction in these type of stories. And also, by the way, I'm just saying straight up, this film is very generic. You can see a bunch of the stickers. You can see a bunch of the stairs. God damn, I'm sorry. You can see a bunch of the scares coming. You know who's gonna die first and last. It's kind of predictable. It's obvious. It's pretentious. Yes, I know all that type of stuff. Pushing it all aside, I did really enjoy this film for what it was. And I like also the way the catacombs underneath Paris in this film, they looked realistic. And I thought they looked quite authentic. And some of the scares, in my opinion, were actually not bad. Like, the very first scary thing you see, in my opinion, may have been the best. Because they're like, oh, they discover this, like, type of slither within the wall, and they look inside, and there's, like, this cult activity, and they're like, okay. And the camera kind of looks inside, it pans away, it's like, oh, okay, let's leave, alright. And panning away, the camera kind of looks back, it shows, like, the high priestess type of character is, like, praising the stuff, and then she's kind of, like, looks right at the camera, and I'm just like, asshole. Like, that actually did genuinely freak me out. I'm like, you son of a... I admit that actually did kind of get me. There's like 2, 3 more scares that did get me, and there's a really clever setup that with this when the phone first like when I first saw this film a few weeks ago, because I've actually watched the film a few times now. There's a point where they're talking among themselves and just like ring, ring. I'm just like, what the fuck was that? That's a phone, and that didn't throw me off guard. I was just really baffled by that. I'm like, what? A phone? That really freaked me out. I'm just like, God, that's really creepy. I'm just like, that's really interesting. And like, yes, a different setup for a scare. Good, thank you. And I thought it was actually relatively interesting for me to see these type of certain like unique type of spins for certain type of scares happening. Granted, are all of them like that? No, there's a good deal of them that are very generic. But in the end, I'm just like, alright, fine, that's good. Alright. And the ending, I did not see coming. I'm not going to say anything about it, but I'm just going to say I did not see that coming. And it really does paint to the aspect of as above, so below. And I just want to say, for me, like the main foundation of why I did overall like this movie is because I found the plot relatively interesting, and the ideas and the story behind it actually quite engaging for me. Now, granted, is it perfect? Hell no. There's a lot of problems with it. It's super cliche. The characters aren't well developed. The scares, like about 65% of the scares are not that great. Side characters, the side characters are a bit of a problem. But overall, I did kind of enjoy myself with this film, and I know because this film has like a 2010, like a 20-something% of Rotten Tomatoes. Like when I looked at that, I'm just like, really? Many people really don't like this movie that much? I kind of really enjoyed myself, and over I watched this film 3 times. I rented it a few weeks ago. I rented it last week, and then I rented it again yesterday, and I'm actually planning again. To watch it today. So it's like there's something in this movie that keep drawing back to it. That I'm just like there's something that's kind of calling me towards this. Now, granted, will I buy this on DVD? Maybe. I'm actually thinking about it. Will I buy it on DVD? And I'm thinking maybe I will at some point. Like, is it like a must buy? No, but it's like one of those movies where I'll say I plan to get it in like a month or so. And in the end, I actually did fairly enjoy As Above, So Below. And if you comment down below freely if you enjoy this movie or not. But in the end, I did actually fairly enjoy As Above, So Below. So tell me, everyone, down below, like I said, do you like this movie or not? And last thing, the rating. Ooh, what would the rating be? I'm going to say this movie, for what it is, I'm going to give it a 60%. I actually did fairly like this movie. I'm going to give it a 65%. Okay? I know it's a really weird rating, like it's among the same rating that I gave VHS 3, but it's like for me it's like VHS 3 or As Above, So Below is like to kind of even in my mind. But in the end, I fairly enjoyed As Above, So Below. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And by the way, while you're here, you can click down below to see some more of my videos and to subscribe. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much, and I'll see you within the future. Stay strong.